Simposaurus Rex versus Kung Fu. That's our next match for tonight. Of course, I'm joined alongside Randall Rootkill. Welcome, Randall. How the heck are you? We haven't really had time to sit down and talk.
Well, we do at the back, but we don't get to sit out
We
here.
don't.
I got
not out here.
No.
Not with the community out here watching us, watching our every move. If we cross right over left or left over right, it means two separate things.
judging us
They judge us
constantly.
I do want to say, guys, I will announce it right here that Sunday will be my last broadcast here at Hero Level Productions. So it'll be our farewell. We will have the whole team out here, though. Clutch, me, and you.
Yep.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
I'll be over there, right?
You will be
I
over there.
get to be
You
back
know
on my
what?
telestration.
Oh,
I want to telestrate.
Let's do a poll on Twitter and see what you guys want. Do you want Rootkill over here, what we call the co-host seat, or do we want him over on the side where we say the analyst seat?
It's a fun seat.
Tweet at him, at Rootkill, at Greytorp. Let us know, and we will do a poll from that and see where Rootkill should sit on Sunday. But yeah, guys, it will be my last broadcast here at Hero Level Productions. I'm really sad. I don't want to say goodbye words yet, but all I do want to say is it's been a ton of fun casting World of Tanks. I've loved your community. I love your community. I love our community.
It's a great community. We're all so much fun. We're very welcoming to you.
Yes, you
Andre.
are. You are.
It was at first I was like, who are these guys? They don't play tanks.
They don't play
They aren't
tanks.
pro. But then you started to learn a lot of stuff. You started playing that IS-3 all the time, and I was
I
like,
do.
yeah, he's figured out a cool tank, and he's stuck to it. You stuck to a tank, and you didn't get distracted on silly things.
Well, this
like
is how I
Wolf
normally
Life.
operate. I normally just play one thing and that's it, and then I'll switch just one day. I'll just switch as soon as I realize that I've mastered that specific tank on every single place, which I haven't yet. I know I haven't.
It takes a long time.
It takes a very long time.
Yeah.
I have a good 500 battles in my IS-3, but still I feel like I'm such a scrub. And I can feel that there are so many things I can alter to make myself a little bit better. But I have gotten to a point where, you saw my W18 right now is like 2300.
Yeah, you were doing very well recently. I
Correct.
like that. And the thing is, you get to this line where you cross over and everything starts to apply all over the place. You learn the specifics of each tank, and then you get all these fundamentals down. And that's what you're doing. That's what
Yeah.
you've been getting down. You've been getting down the fundamentals of just tanking really well in heavies.
And then from there, you just kind of, you get this picture of what other tanks should be doing, or how a 1390 can beat you.
Exactly. And because you know how a 1390 can beat you, you also know how to play a 1390 against the tank.
Exactly.
Because then you understand your own weaknesses and how to apply them from a different perspective.
But Rootkill, you've been an instrumental part of my learning process, and I really appreciate that. But let's not get there yet. It's going to be too sad. But make sure you guys tune in. Sunday will be our finals. Of course, tomorrow is going to be the, not the semifinals, but the quarterfinals. Then the day after that, we'll be doing semifinals and finals. Not only will that be an awesome day of broadcast, but it'll be my farewell broadcast. Kind of sad. But do you know what I'm not sad for?
What?
Simposaurus Rex. They're going to be playing against Kung Fu right now on Ensk. Guys, I'm ready for this. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for this. Let's jump into battle. Okeano.
Okeano's back, and he's going to be in the IS-3. Along with two 5100s, Okeano will be joined by Revelator and Adeptus Arcanus in IS-3s. On the other side, three 5100s of IS-3, and Ho-Ho Hahi will actually be in a T-69 again. So Kung Fu will be in red, Simposaurus Rex in blue.
What do you think about the T-69 pick?
Don't agree. I don't agree, especially up against three IS-3s. You're going to have a lot of bounces, a lot of fizzles, and the 5100s are going to be hard to get at, especially when they're going to be hiding behind three IS-3s.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of T-69 lately,
Yeah.
and I've been playing against a lot of IS-3s on this map in particular, and I've actually had an incredibly easy time penning IS-3s.
What makes you think that you have an incredibly easy time?
Because I don't miss.
That would be crucial. And Ho-Ho Hahi hasn't missed against Ilarge. He takes the T1 down.
Do you know what I think it is? I think a lot of T-69 play, it focuses on the, obviously you have track shots and stuff like that. But I think there's spots in the IS-3 where if you hit a little bit higher on tracks, it'll pen full times. I mean, it's not, here, I'll go over it right now. It's like when I'm hitting right around here.
Below the space, above the track.
Yeah, that's where it's just super, super silly. But if I'm doing it like right in the middle of the tracks, that's when, you have problem. That's when it's really tough. And I think it's because of the profile of the T69. It's a little bit taller, so when you're shooting, it's at an angle if you shoot down here. That's why I just raise it up a little bit, stop that angle, and then you won't have to worry about spaced armor nearly as much.
Yeah, but from range, it's just so hard to do.
That's
Already
true.
taking a hit from Revelator in the
That's true.
5100. It's from the front with heat. It's easy to pen that IS-3. But
Yes,
the thing
I
is,
agree.
when pros are playing the IS-3, they're going to be angling a lot better. They're going to make it so much harder for your T69 to get shots. And with 250 heat pen on an angled IS-3, you're just going to have a hard time. Ho-ho hahi getting shots onto Dark Lancer. 2 of them connecting from a great distance. 5100 is an easy tank for a T69 to pen.
That's right.
Tanks, your shells aren't even going to fizzle that much.
Not only that, where the heck is he firing from? That's the problem. T69, 400-meter view range.
Exactly. I'm actually going to check to see, does he have optics? Yes, Ho-Ho even has optics, so he's seeing out to the wall. That's that max view range, about 440 meters.
Optics so good, plus 10%.
Oh, wow. And he's even going to put a shot on Air News, not first connection. Second one's not going to connect to either.
Still, they don't know where this fire is coming from. Well, they know where it's coming from. Don't get me wrong.
General direction.
They don't know who's well, they know who's firing. They don't know the positioning of a T69, guys, okay?
They can guess at it. They have some indications. They don't know. They don't actually have them spotted.
I put binocs on my T69 for this very position, plus 25%, and it's so delicious. It really is. People just line up.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, let me cross the tracks 30 seconds after the start of the game.
It's one of the best opening positions.
Why do they do that, though?
What?
They wait 30 seconds to cross the tracks, and I'm just like,
A lot of
well,
people
thank
aren't
you.
paying attention.
Thank you for letting me reload first.
It happens, you know?
Yeah.
Just people not paying attention, then they're like, oh, I'm in battle now, and then they start driving, or they decide halfway through driving to the west to go back to the east. And, well, if you're just sitting there waiting,
Nom.
delicious points.
Delicious points.
Purple points, all over the place.
All right, well, very defensive play so far. T69 obviously doing what it needs to do, just maintaining control over that sixth line.
Adeptus Arcanus gets spotted, and more shots by Ho-Ho. He's just going to try and get as much of a lead as he can right now.
I don't blame him.
Before Simposaurus Rex decides to make a move, because Simposaurus Rex is not going anywhere. They don't seem to be doing anything to advance their position.
That's right. And this is what we've come to know Simposaurus Rex doing. I mean, they play very, very defensively. We don't really see them trying to make any plays. But they have, I would say for the most part, they have very, very talented tankers. They know how to place their shots. They know how to reverse angle like this. I love what we're seeing from Adeptus Arcanus. But still, I mean, they don't do anything with their, I guess, their inherent advantages.
And now we can see them, Cinnabar is kind of out on a flank in his T1 Cunningham. Chen Baiyu actually proxy spotting him, and support's on the way. Daniel Tang and Servios are going to be able to come in here and destroy this T1.
Cinnabar, mistakes were made. Not really.
And without support, there's not going to be any punishment for killing this T1. Simposaurus Rex is now down both of their T1 Cunninghams.
Oh.
And look, there's not even any damage on the end of their T1 Cunninghams. Mushui is sitting undamaged. You got Chen Baiyu. Gonna be able to run into the backfield, possibly put cap pressure on. And Simposaurus Rex is not in a position.
Aeronews taking damage from QWERTY. Another shot will ring out. Oh, wow. Dark Lancer is going to take a shot as he crosses over that sixth line. T69.
You were talking about this waiting too long into the battle to cross the sixth line. They're just going to retreat, and Ho-Ho, with those optics, able to spot it out.
Wow, and that is so risky because right now, they already know that 5100s are somewhere on the one line. That's the last time they saw them. T69 right in the center. There is a big play, but since they saw the 5100s crossing the tracks, they're like, guys, let's go on these IS-3s. There's no way that those 5100s can get over here into battle. We have a good minute to take out all of these IS-3s, and that's exactly what they're doing. Convergence, I love what we're seeing. And will it work out? Cyclists is going to pop out here along with Daniel and Servios in their 5100s. Just blow up Revelator as the T69 start going to town. Down goes Adeptus Arcanus, and right after that, another IS-3, Okeano, last tank, and down he goes. Air News and Dark Lancer, where are they? They're still trying to get to the battle. They're not even there yet. Mushui is there to spot the two tanks, but guess what? Not going to be enough. 2 tier 8s against 5. I should even say 2 tier 8s against 7 tanks. It's a whole team that they have to 2v7.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Qwerty is already there. Air News gets off cap, and so does Dark Lancer. No hope there. They're going to try to return right now, but Qwerty puts a shot in Dark Lancer, and now he's going to be able to shoot them from behind, and decides to try and snake a shot, but decides otherwise, actually. And it's just going to have these beautiful rear shots on Dark Lancer. First one's actually going to not connect, but looks like Ho-Ho is able to connect, and there he goes. Only Air News remains. Just slaughter. That's really what it was.
Easy peasy. I mean, that 5100 play cannot happen. T69 knows all. And you can see view range winning the battle here on Ensk. It's not something we normally say because Ensk, yes, the 6 line is important, but it's hard to really use your view range other than that 6 line. You can clearly see as soon as the 5100s cross the tracks, it's a very, very easy solution. They just isolate the IS-3s, knowing that the 5100s cannot get into battle. 5v3, you should win that all day, day.
And the IS-3s didn't even get that much damage out when it finally came to it. Looking at the post-game, these IS-3s, Revelator got 733. He only got 2 shots off. They connected, but that's all he got the whole battle. Now you also had Okeano do as much as he could, but Adeptus Arcanus wasn't able to get any damage at all. That's the positions they took up didn't get any shots before the engagement, and they were completely outmatched. On the other side, Ho-Ho Hahi did a great job in that T69.
Oh, yeah.
He fired 17 times, and it was really hard shots, but he actually connected 10 shots for damage, and that gave him 2,000, just 2,000 total, really making it work in the T69.
Yep, he did. I mean, looks really good. Actually, it's 9 shots, I think, penetrated instead of 10. One of them was tracked.
One of them, like, fizzled?
Yeah, one of them fizzled. That's why average is 240. You're looking at 2171. I know it's really minor, but it's important to note.
Andre does the math.
I do the math, guys. Yeah. That's all I do. That's why I'm hired here. If I didn't know math, they would say, nope, don't need you.
You did all our stats, too, for a while.
As I said, if I didn't know math, I would not be in this position. There's no way. There's no way. We're going to move over to Himmelsdorf for our next battle. You know, I am a little bit worried for Kung Fu in this position, or excuse me, Simposaurus Rex in this position, because I was looking for a plan for them to win. I was looking for a coherent way for them to take their advantages and move forward, and I couldn't find it. Right? They're looking to play the 6 line. Doesn't make sense against the T69. Look at what happened. That view range, so important. And the fact that they kept contesting, even though they were still firing, or they were still getting shot a ton, it really told me they weren't adapting too much. They were sticking with the same plan, playing very defensive. And then apart from that, where were they really looking to play? They sort of had the west side, and then they're like, okay, 5100s go to the east side, try to wrap around. But that's not taking into effect the fact that T69 can see you doing that. You already know they've shot you. You know that they can see you, but you're still willing to do that. Simposaurus Rex, somewhere along the lines, they're not putting 2 and 2 together and really coming up with optimal plans.
Yeah, I'm starting to think of what they're trying to do. And remember Fulcrum's approach to this map? From the south, they kind of take up similar positions somewhere on the 6 line. Everybody lines up in that area. But Fulcrum actually moved after a little while and started to gain advantage. You didn't see that with Simposaurus Rex. They hesitated for too long, and once they got at a disadvantage, they said we don't have any advantages. We're actually at a disadvantage now. Let's just turtle up, and that's all they did for the rest of the time.
What Fulcrum Gaming does on the 6 line is they wait. If they are spotted out, blind fire down directly. You know, because obviously they're not going to beat that view range. If not, they actually take the 6 line and maybe the 7 line sometimes, and they push on through the center if they want to be that super aggressive Fulcrum Gaming. But that being said, guys, we're going to actually have to cut the analysis short because our next battle is ready. It's going to be on Himmelsdorf. What do we have for tanks, Mr. Ruki?
We have a 110 AMX 5100 and 3 IS-3s for the side of Simposaurus Rex. For Kung Fu, we have 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and again, the T69. Ho-Ho Hahi. This has got to be his favorite tank.
It has to. I mean, I really feel like the T69, it's a harder tank now, but it still has a lot of capabilities. So far, I like the fact that Cinnabar is in the 110. I'd like to see him out of a T1.
The 110 is always a really good complement to this lineup, but you're lacking a lot of burst here. You're hoping to alpha down a lot of stuff, and between the 3 IS-3s and the 110, you should be able to finish off any single tank if you get the right connections. Cinnabar will also be the same guy who can get the free shots on T1 Cunninghams, and also finish off tanks when he needs to. First spot's coming up. Qwerty and Cinnabar face off across the middle. Doesn't look like anyone's going to try and shoot each other though.
No, Cyclists was fired at by Cinnabar.
Now Daniel Tang comes up looking for a shot, peeks up, but and then he just backs down.
We do have tank alley play being done right now, although they might circle around to the hill. I'm not sure just yet. Let's take a look. Revelator over here, right on tank alley, along with Aero News. And the other tanks, where are they? Let's find out. Okeano, right around the corner as well. So everybody's gathered up here on tank alley over on the east side. Very defensive so far, but I think they're looking for some aggressive play. Now they see a T69 on the hill, and they're going to start mobilizing. A large gets a nice lookout on 2 T1s and Ho Hahi, and now we have the push. And I like this. Very reactive. Daniel Tang going to be a lot of trouble here. How is he going to get out of this messy situation?
He does have backup. He's got a 5100 and Nias 3 behind him. Daniel Tang looks to pull away from the 8 line. Might see this coming, but no, he doesn't actually. And he takes the initial shot. Okeano coming in hot. Oh wow, Okeano actually might be the first to go down to 123, and he will go down. Daniel Tang will go down second. So making him pay for this position, although now it is a 2v3, as it looks like Qwerty will go down next, 63 hit points. Arcanas actually go down first.
But this isn't nearly as bad as you might think. Terry Loves is over there just covering the flank. Cinnabar is getting shots, though. I don't agree with the position that Cyclist went. He needs to actually be, covering against Cinnabar. Terry Loves is putting shots out on Revelator, and they're going to take him out pretty fast here. Cyclist will stay alive. In the meantime, that T69 has been able to ascend down. Hohohahi going to flank out Cinnabar, and Air News not able to get in here. Although Cinnabar does a great block now, and Air News has shots pretty soon here on Terry Loves. No, he's going to be able to snake away, and Cinnabar, where does he go? He's going to try to go on Cyclists, and he will get the shot.
Wow, and that actually evens it up in a way. We've got Terry and Ho-Ho versus Cinnabar and Air News. Air News looks to be reloaded, and he begins to unload on Ho-Ho. Ho-Ho should be reloaded in a moment. T1's really helping out in this fight, just making Air News hurt. And Ho-Ho should be reloaded now. Oh, he misses! Okay. And there. Terry should be reloaded in a moment. He may be able to finish this off.
We'll find out. Air News is going to take a shot. Cinnabar going to unload on Terry. Oh, he misses! And he needs to. No, he bounces again. This is the power of the 110, but finally he's going to be able to take him down. Now Air News is the last 5100 alive, and that HP advantage does not exist anymore because of that.
Terry zeroes a shot on Air News.
Air News. That's one shot, and he tracks. And he's going to be able to get the cleanup shot. Beautiful shot at that end. That track was so pivotal in taking out that 5100. And now he just rams into the T1 Cunningham. Oh my goodness, was that beautiful. Beautiful tanking by our... no, that wasn't Kung Fu, was it?
That was Kung Fu winning that.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's the thing. Simposaurus Rex, when they pushed in, they got Alpha down. First IS-3 went down immediately, and we didn't actually see tanks going down for Kung Fu first. We saw tanks from Simposaurus Rex going down, and then in response, a Cherry would drop just right after that, but it was still after the tank from Kung Fu would go down. So we actually saw Kung Fu controlling that fight. Hohohahi came on, and he was able to do a little damage, but he actually isn't the one carrying that battle.
No, not at all. I mean, Hohohahi, he was able to come in there at an advantageous spot, but not taking out Cinnabar was very critical, and it's because he didn't have enough shots to do that. Well, let's go into the detailed report, and it'll really show what went on. Terry loves shooting your bird. This guy, he is a boss. Man, that last shot was beautiful. I thought he was taking way too long to zero in, but I was completely wrong.
You gotta zero. You can't waste that shot.
Yeah.
He probably only had just the two.
Yeah, and he made sure he connected and tracked at the same time. There was a position where Air News could have gotten away completely. He would have been safe, right?
Maybe.
Just rounding the corner.
If he'd
it's 2.7 seconds to reload.
But he got tracked in that shot.
I know. If he didn't get tracked, I'm saying.
That's a big if though.
Of course. Well, I'm saying this is the strength of zeroing in and being a good marksman, knowing exactly where to fire. The fact that he was able to wait and then say, okay, turn a little bit. I'm going to shoot you as you turn. Get a track shot rather than just going straight on, because if it's straight on, he's only going to damage or only going to track, and that's not going to be enough damage to kill your opponent.
Exactly. And he really gets MVP for that. Also getting
Yeah.
flank shots during the fight. Every tank that was
God,
crossing
yes.
over, he just was putting shots
Can we
and shots
can
and
we
shots
just
back.
go to this? Look at this accuracy. It's incredible. Like 10 out of 12. Let me tell you, I mean, this is above average for sure in the WGLNA.
The only bounces he got was on the 110. That was it.
Yeah.
Those were
That's
two of them right on
two
the
of them.
Shuka there.
That's right. And let's be honest, the 110, it's pretty troublesome to penetrate.
And it looked, from my perspective, I actually saw Cinnabar doing a very good job of making those bounces happen. He saw where the gun was looking, and he actually kind of inched his Shuka over one way, so you had this incredibly sharp angle, causing a bounce. You just could not pen against that. Then he switched it over the other way when he went for the weak spot. So he was actually playing very well against Terry. It was just well played by Cinnabar in the 110 to make those bounces happen. The only bounces.
Great heads-up play from Cinnabar, I do have to say. And I like him in the tier 8s, the 110s, just the tier 8s in general. I think he's a very talented tanker. We're going to find out if it's going to be enough, though. We move over to Cliff for our next battle. Right now, Simposaurus Rex is down 0-2. And Cliff is definitely a map where you need to assert your control over the map. And they did this last battle, but it just wasn't able to connect well enough. Will they be able to do it here? We're going to find out. Let's get into battle.
Taking a look at these tanks, T-32, 2 Pershings and 2 1390s for Simposaurus Rex. On the other side, a Pershing, 2 T-69s and 2 1390s. Kung Fu having that mobility going into this fight.
Mobility is key on this map, in my opinion, especially taking the center and the west. If you can get both of those, there's very little that your opponents can do. The only thing they can do is go directly over the center line. That's simple. You just move your 1390s or whatever tanks are over here in the direction of where they're pushing, and you're going to be able to get 2 crossfires to your opponent's just simple 1. Let's find out. In the very beginning stages, we do have movement early on. Okeano, A-Large, Air News, and Revelator all going towards the center. And the Pershing, I'm sorry. Worst player, NA, is now in a tier 8, and he is moving all the way up. We're going to have some split-offs as 1390s move over to the west side. But, what do we have? Oh, no, they're not going to move over to the west side. They just stick in the center. What do we have on the red team?
Almost the exact same thing. We've got Ho-Ho Hahi and Terry Love Shooting Your Bird. They are moving right up to the middle. Terry is actually going to go for the hill spot. Ho-Ho going for the opening scout run. He will find some tanks.
Oh.
A-Large and Okeano will get a shot onto Ho-Ho as
Double
he goes into 609.
Double shot, yeah. Really, really unfortunate for Hohoahi. And he's being way too aggressive with his scouting run. I mean,
A-Large and Okeano were perfectly set up for
yes, A-Large and Okeano were actually set up to deal with the crossfire. They were expecting 1390s to be shooting across to get that west side, but it's just 5v5 right in the middle of the map.
Yeah, we actually have a T1 engagement in the west, as actually Chen Baiyu is able to take down Cinnabar, making this now a 1v1 as far as it goes. Mushu, I don't know exactly where he is right now, but T1 advantage definitely going in favor of Kung Fu having better T1s. It looks like engagement. Dark Lantern misses a few shots, few connections.
A better T1, rather, because Chi Bao Yu has just 2v1'd these 2 T1s.
Yeah, and actually it's now 10 hit points versus 19. Really, any burst coming out here will finish off either T1. With that, then we can see some cap pressure. Oh, Chen Baiyu actually destroys the building. Are we going to see crossfire from T69s? I see T69s in the east, but no, it doesn't look like they are going to make that crossfire. Qwerty, I was expecting to see that from him.
Craziness.
He
Now
was looking out there.
Daniel W. Tang taking a little bit of damage from center control. T32 Pershing and 2 Pershings, rather, are representing that damage. And they're starting to circle around. Pershing getting into a very precarious situation where they can get hit pretty bad. They are starting to back up as we speak. Those T69s can't hold the line as well as the Pershing and the T32, so that's why they are backing up.
Qwerty taking a hit down to 1208 from A-Large. Another shot will bounce. Third shot, will he go for it? A-Large will actually make a connection down to 988. Little advantages here and there. These 2 medium tanks for the side of Kung Fu are taking a little damage. Now the flank coming in.
Well, it's not quite a flank just yet. I mean, they're still at the same place.
No, they're coming around. They're coming right through the middle. T32, Pershing, and T69 are moving up on Ho-Ho. Ho down to 39 hit points. And he will duck into cover in just enough time. Cyclist is kind of cut off, I feel like. He could get focused down, and actually he does take a few hits trying to return fire, but Alar just is really locking down this position, keeping Cyclist. Oh, Terry, when did you slip into the backfield? He's in the backfield. No one's expecting this, and he's actually running straight through. He's hit on air news. He's going to get a second shot, and he's just getting wasted, though, down to 123. I don't know what's going on. I really don't understand this Kung Fu approach.
I think that was a mistake.
I don't know what that was. A mistake, yes, but what was that? Terry in the backfield, no push coming up from Kung Fu. They just sacked him.
That is called a YOLO swag 420.
Endo strats?
Endo strats. 2014. It's like the cars of the future, but endo of the future.
You always talk about the next year coming.
Exactly. I wouldn't even say 2015.
Oh, man.
That's how meta it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're really trying to sell some endo strats right
Terry loves. He knows what's up. But as it stands, I mean, that Pershing is down to 7 hit points, so he's very, very close to dying. That could have been a 1-for-1 trade, but sadly, it was not. At this point, I think I have to feel like Simposaurus Rex are the ones that need to do something here.
Well, they're going to be they need to do it very quickly because Mushu is moving into the cap circle. He's all the way in G1 now. He'll be there in 30 seconds or so. And with that cap pressure, you will see Simposaurus Rex have to return someone to base.
Okay.
Oh, and there's the fight.
Go. And Cyclix gets taken down very quickly. Are they going to be able to take down the other tanks, though? Of course, Hohohai gets taken out. So that's a double tap over in the center. Okeano is very, very low. He only needs one more shot, but he ducks behind cover. Really nicely done for him.
A-Large is moving in, so is Worst Player. Worst Player taking some hits, but Qwerty and Daniel W. Tang want to move down the hill. Worst Player just jumps on Daniel, forcing him down the hill. A-Large just almost jumping off. Daniel Tang dying to a ram from Worst Player as Revelator and A-Large are able to finish off the Pershing. Well played by Simposaurus Rex, finally bringing something aggressive to the playing field. Now their cap is under attack.
They've shown to me that they clearly know Cliff a lot better than their opponents. I mean, getting their 1390s in the right places, Hohohai not being in the right place. I mean, these are things that you simply cannot do. They're just going to step on cap knowing that 30 seconds or 33 seconds is less than 1 minute and 4 seconds.
At the same time, Okeano with 113 hit points is returning to base to kill Mushu. With that, he will secure victory.
Imagine if Mushu just clutches it.
That would be cool, but he won't.
TT. Simposaurus Rex getting a little closer to tying up the series 1 and 2 right now, so they still have a lot of room to work with. But this was a great showcase of how they understand the map a little bit better, still not really putting any control over the west side. And Terry Loves, what the heck is he doing?
I don't know, those endo strats, just YOLO, right in the backfield. I mean, an east side push, Clutch always wants to see those. He wants to see an east side push. He loves that it's a cool flank you can make. But
I think Clutch just loves death and destruction. He's actually, you know, you always think he's a nice guy, but secretly he just wants the world to burn. He just wants to see it.
He really puts on a good face, though,
let's see east side on mines.
No, it's not that. It's I'd love to see east side on mines, not let's see east side on mines. He's not that. That's inside his head.
That's his inner conscience, right?
Yeah,
He's saying, let's see east side on mines.
Yes.
Let's see east side on Cliff.
Yes.
Let's see east side on
Prohorovka.
Prohorovka.
Yes.
Oh God, no. Let's see east side on Ensk. That's what he said yesterday too.
Oh yeah, he loves seeing east side play on every map.
Let's see. Maybe he has like a natural affinity. Like Squirtle has a natural affinity to water.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch has a natural affinity
to the east.
The east.
Oh,
he does love his Asian women.
But he's from the West Coast.
But he does love his Asian women.
The Far East, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
It just makes sense.
I'm putting it all together. It's coming together right now. I'm realizing what exactly kind of a person Clutch is.
But he grew up in Virginia.
Well, but I thought he was from West Coast. Like
he was, but he's also from Virginia. That's where he moved cross country to come here. So we're looking at the story of.
It's a conspiracy, Andre. That's what it is.
It's East Side, Beast Side. That's what it is.
Man, but the West Coast, best coast.
Which one do you want to be? Best or Beast?
Beast.
Beast.
Beast. I'm from the East Coast, but
Me
I don't
too.
favor East Side on every map.
I don't either. We might see some I'm getting tongue-tied here. East pushes. There we go.
Yeah.
I was thinking Peast. East, Beast, Peast, whatever. East pushes on steps, that's going to be our next map right now. As I said, Simposaurus Rex 1 and 2 against their opponents. We're going to find out if they can come back into this series. Let's get into the game. As Clutch likes to say, I know Kung Fu. Okay. Now
Well, Kung Fu has 2 Pershings, T69, and 2 1390s. On the other side, T32, 2 Pershings, and 2 1390s. It's all right line, I'm saying. Nothing special. I don't like that T32 as much.
Well, T69s instead of the Pershings, and then the Pershing instead of the T32, right? So we have a much more mobile lineup coming out of the side of
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu.
Yeah. The opening, and as you called it, maybe an east side, because Hohohahi will lead the charge, going kind of a southeast run on the top of the hills here, spotting any kind of east movement from Simposaurus Rex. Will he spot anything? It's not looking like it. No, actually he stops in the open. Very odd.
Don't stop.
Yeah,
You're
don't,
1390.
You don't stop. You can continue this run just by taking a left, Ho-Ho, or you can just sit in the open. That works too. That's
He's in
fine.
hold down position.
That's not hold down. That's top of a hill.
He's in
look at
top of the
me.
hill, hold down
I'm a
position.
1390.
Well, there's that little ridge. It's super tiny.
It's not real cover.
That 1390 is very nimble and short. Okay.
It's not that short. Look at the turret. It sticks out, and
Okay.
it's made
Well,
of paper.
then it's in hold down position. It's just paper hold down.
Yeah.
Don't be such a hater.
I just don't like that top of the hill stopping on a scout run. It's very off-putting. See a tank stopping in the open. Mushu in the T1 will be heading off towards the west side, and I guess he's going to pull back after our Terry. Love shooting your birds. Actually pretty well caught out, as he's actually in F4. So you've got some cover from the mid. Daniel Tang's got some cover fire.
Yep,
Terry, though, will be spotting the middle of the map.
So very defensive play from Kung Fu so far. We're going to check on Simposaurus Rex in a little bit, guys. My computer crashed, so we're going to get that up ASAP.
Stop kicking it, Andre.
Sorry. Well, maybe I should kick it harder.
That definitely will fix it. If you just kick technology, that always works, right?
It worked in a lot of Russian movies. Lot of Russian movies, okay?
You just hit it, it works.
This is...
Sometimes hitting it works, but, I mean...
Excuse me. Okay, not in marriages, okay? Not in marriages.
I said sometimes. I didn't say all the time.
I know where your brain is going, though.
That's not where I'm going on here. That's where your brain went.
Rookhill. God, calm down. All right, let's take a look at the blue team, see where Simposaurus Rex is. Right now we got Revelator over here in his T32. Cinnabar is catching that super far flank. But on the other side, we have the Pershings just battle buddied up, of course, in the right position. Look at the 1390s, A-Large and Okeano. They are super defensive.
Wow, this is... Didn't we see this last time from them? I think this is almost the same defensive play. Yeah, this is the same defensive play we saw last time from Simposaurus Rex.
And what do you do to break this? Okay, let's go on to my screen real quick, and let's just talk. Let's just talk about how to break this. If I were the red team, if I were Kung Fu, come on, bring it over my screen. There we go. If I were Kung Fu, how do I actually break this position apart? How do I dismantle it, assuming that I don't know anything? I don't know the positions or anything like that.
Well, it's very difficult to know without knowing any of the positions. You're going to have to scout this out. And it's going to take a lot of work from these 1390s to dig out these positions. These 1390s are in fantastic positions. In order for you to approach close enough to spot them, you're going to really have to expose yourself. So Ho-Ho is trying to, and he's doing a good job of actually approaching bushes, stopping in the bush, and then actually, well, he then turns to the left and abandons that. But Ho-Ho, stop contradicting and then getting away with it. Anyway, he's going to start scouting. He's going to try and find something, but if he doesn't get lit, he's not going to know anything. Obviously, Terry Hohohahi in the 1390 has a sixth sense, so he's gonna know when someone is around because he's gonna get that notification first. And it doesn't look like he's finding anything because he is trying to scout. He's trying his best, but to break this, you have to spot it out, and then you have to recognize what's going on. So if Kung Fu has studied their opponent, looked at replays, they might know what's coming. And with that, they could have something prepared, which is a smart thing to do, especially with the fact that these guys are getting streamed all the time.
Well, we do have binocs on two of the T1s. My friend, based on the way Simposaurus Rex is playing, they should have binocs in every single one of their tanks. Okay?
Yeah. If you're going to sit still like this without moving,
Yeah.
oh, wait, he just broke his binocs, that Pershing. Not what
Nope,
using his
no,
Pershing.
Pershing doesn't have binocs.
Well, if
That's
he
why.
did,
He did.
he would have broken him right then. He's got to sit still if he wants to use those.
But I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just very defensive play so far.
Pershing gets spotted finally by something.
I would like it to just draw out. If I am Kung Fu in this position, I just say draw. Sure. If you guys want to play like this, we're ahead, and right there it puts them into like almost a win-win situation. It's not quite win-win situation, but they either win the series altogether in 2 outcomes, or they go to a shootout, which is still putting them alive. So I would be more than happy to just settle.
Spotting is happening now. Okeano got spotted, and it doesn't look like he will take any fire, but we're actually seeing Kung Fu being able to learn the positions of the tanks. Chen Baiyu, not quite understanding. Yes, you will slide down this hill. You don't have that great traction. Every tank will do that, and now he won't be able to climb. You can't climb that, Chen. You're going to have to get a little momentum. He won't get it. Anyway, he'll have to go around.
He needs to be pushed.
Yeah.
Someone should push him up.
1390 battle, but he is nearby. Blind fire, actually. Ho-Ho is just blind firing off into the west side. Does he actually get any hits?
I'm not sure.
You're going to have to check on the Pershings and T69s.
I mean, worst player in A got hit before. No, it doesn't look like they hit anything. But he is spotted out. Still nothing of value so far. Cyclists is going to be spotted out as well. He again being spotted here. Worst player in A. Let's see if he lines up a shot. Nope, he doesn't.
Can't. Ho-Ho does slip away. He's right behind the hill cover. Nothing can hit him right there.
A little less than 4 minutes left in this battle, and I don't see it really being decisive for any of these teams. I mean, Kung Fu, they started about 3 minutes into the game actually being more active with their scouting after realizing that their opponents haven't moved a muscle. There was no active scouting at all.
It's very strange because I think yesterday we saw them playing a very different game, very much slower, actually. And against a team like Simposaurus Rex, I guess they expect that slow play, and they know that they can expect to be more aggressive. Well, at least on steps, which seems to be a more confident map for them. They actually do all right.
It could be just the fact that Simposaurus Rex aren't comfortable on steps, right? But then if you aren't comfortable on steps, well, it could just be that. They don't like this map. They just like to draw it out. I don't blame them for it. If you ask me, I hate this map.
Really? You don't like it?
I really, really do.
I love it because it's scouting potential. Because,
of course you would.
I'm a scout. I love open maps, and I love maps where I can scout, and then my team can just use me to their advantage, and they can get all the shots they want. I can just keep driving around and having a fun time surfing on hills. The
problem with for me is it's very hard to get that win. Even if you do get that extra damage, still closing the distance becomes so difficult, and a lot of times you're just not going to take the advantage. So I agree with what you're saying. Yes, there's a lot of chances for your type of play to be in use, but overall, I have trouble finding a good plan to approach your opponents. And a lot of times, well, I guess Fulcrum Gaming have it figured out to an extent. They have a lot of very aggressive strats.
Actually, something very aggressive now is that we have Terry shooting your bird, and Ho-Ho are going to close the distance. They're going to try and just start the fight on these Pershings and T32, and Chen Baiyu is even moving up, and he engages on Dark Lancer, taking him down. T1v1 going in that favor. A-Large looks to want to kill Chen Baiyu. Terry and Ho-Ho do not focus on him, though. They want this Pershing. Well, either of these Pershings, really.
Okay, and they have a good approach. I mean, no damage has been taken at all, and now they're going to not surprised, but they are going to pop up at this T32 3v1, maybe even 4v1. Yes, it will be. The T69's shortly behind after that, now circling around this T32, but everybody else is focusing down the 1390 that was trying to be all cheeky like that. It looks like Simposaurus Rex is just perfectly positioned to defend against this. They have a complete surround, and I have to feel like this was a big mistake.
They pushed right into the contact.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect position for Simposaurus Rex to receive this.
Yeah, and it's not looking good. Kung Fu can still bring this back, though. They just have to keep driving forward. With the way that fights have been going for Simposaurus Rex, they've just not been able to take advantage where they have it. And it looks like A-Large is actually way out of the fight, driving off into the distance. They're going for the draw. They want the draw. They're going to lose this fight. Ukiano's even running away. I'm really surprised because they could win this. They could have won this brawl and actually brought it back, but no. They're actually going to go for a draw here, going for a shootout.
Well, I think their thought process is even if we win this draw, or even if we win this brawl, it doesn't really matter because I still have to deal with T1. There's so many things to deal with. Ram damage will close it out. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a draw in our hands, 18 seconds away. We got Okeano and a large with Cinnabar also capping, 1 minute and 20 seconds. Doesn't really matter. So it's very clear to me that Simposaurus Rex just did not want to play this map.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they just drew it out. They were very divertive. And that's why we have the outcome.
They could have won it. They really could have. I don't know why they didn't see that. Their enemy pushed
they can
the
win
content.
they can win the brawl, but can they really win the match? Or can they win the battle? I don't think so.
I saw it. I saw it right there when they pushed in.
I mean, they have to kill all tier 8s, and at the same time, they have to kill the T1s, or the T1.
They did lose on a lot of T1 fights.
Yes.
Yeah, so
they did.
So Cinnabar just not able to bring it out in the T1.
Well, Cinnabar was also the opposite side of the other T1 that, who was it again? It was
Dark Lancer?
No.
Oh. Cinnabar was opposite of Mushu. And then Chen Baiyu was opposite of Dark Lancer.
Chen Baiyu. No, he was on the opposite side of Chen Baiyu. So it's not like that T1 could have isolated. So that means you need a 1390. Chasing down a T1, it's a lot of time right there. And of course, if you're chasing down a T1, that means the brawl has to already ended. You only had a minute 40 seconds to finish the brawl and at the same time kill the T1. Do you have enough time to do that? Do you even have enough time to re-clip to get back into battle?
So they're saying ignore the fact that we could win this and say let's just go for a draw.
Yeah, and 100% get a draw.
I hate that.
Well, I mean, it's part of playing, especially if you're not comfortable on a map.
Yeah, I get it. I feel like they had it won. They really did right there.
I don't know. I feel like it was not in their hands to win ever.
Yeah.
Just because of being aggressive. We talk about this all the time, but you could be absolutely right. There are situations where they can focus down that T1 and at the same time win the brawl. But as it stood, not going to be the case. We move over to Prokhorovka for our 5th battle of this series. This is match number 3, by the way. This is a situation where Simposaurus Rex needs to get the last win here to go to shootout. If they lose or tie, it's going to be a series win for Kung Fu.
Kung Fu just looks stronger, I think, right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Kung Fu looks like the better team right now. But there is a little bit of fight left in Simposaurus Rex, and they did make it to one of the finals in Qualifiers #1 for last season, but they weren't able to finish out Casadores back then. Here, they're just having troubles really mobilizing and being aggressive, although, we saw that a little bit in battle #1, we saw that now in battle #4. But in between there, they looked a little bit better. We'll find out what they bring over here to Prokhorovka, which has been west side predominantly, with a lot of Pershing, T-32, and 1390 play. Those are the 3 tanks we mainly see, although we have seen T-69s on this map, or not in this map, in T-69s in this series, which I would say T-69s, we've been pretty critical on them, especially on this map, when you're up against Pershings and T-32s, not the best tank to choose.
Just the 250 heat pen not being as effective as it used to be. The Pershing, you have to get those hat shots. It's really your only chance. You have to hit them, and they're hard. They're very difficult to get, especially against good players who are going to be moving around a lot. If you're always just juking around in a T-32 or a Pershing, you're going to be a really hard target because you have to make those hat shots. And it doesn't look like actually a lot of Pershings are going to be seen here in this battle. It's going to be probably Pershings, T-32s. So you're going to see those hat shots. You're going to see the bull come into play. Definitely coming into play.
I always remember back in the day when you can aim for like the neck of T-32s and Pershings with your T-69, and it can pen a good amount of times.
Oh, yeah.
Now, just
not happening.
so sad. Guys, let's jump into battle. Battle #5 between Kung Fu and Simposaurus Rex. Taking a look at the lineups. Ruka, what do we got?
We have a T-32, 2 Pershings, and 2 1390s for the side of Simposaurus Rex. For Kung Fu, 2 Pershings, a T-69, and 2 1390s. Mobility definitely going to Kung Fu again. Series.
And, I will be the #1 person to say mobility is going to be reigning supreme on any of these open maps. Of course, you want it within reason, but mobility is where you really take your advantages. These aggressive teams are able to take advantage of the fact that they can take more of the map, and that's the most important part. So far, opening scout runs, we got A large popping out into the center. He's going to see Hohohahi and Cyclists. And Terry Loves.
Oh, nice. Well, Terry is also going for a scout run, but the Kung Fu guys really didn't go for anything aggressive. They didn't even cross that midway, so they couldn't have even spotted any of these Pershings or the T-32.
Yeah. Check this, though. Look at this positioning of Air News. That's such a weird position to have a Pershing, don't you think?
I like it, though. You get crossfire on a lot of these positions, and you can shut down tanks like Hohohahi in the 1390 who look to be doing continual loops, but Air News is finally spotted out. So the element of supplies, it's pretty much ruined at this point.
Okay. Well.
But okay, Ho-Ho doesn't care. He's just going to go back. He's actually going to go very deep now, going for another spotting run. And it doesn't look like anyone from Simposaurus Rex is ready for that.
That's bold. That is bold. But we've seen Hohohahi to do stuff like this. Of course, we've seen Terry Loves do stuff even better.
And Ho's going to go back again. I'm expecting to see connection here in a second.
No connections. Wow.
Wow. These guys aren't really looking towards the most common scouting position from Ho-Ho. Ho-Ho is following a pattern, a very pretty obvious pattern, I think. That's.
It looks like they're repositioning. Air News gonna start to circle a little bit towards the center. 1390s. What are they doing so far?
Well, they're just continuing to loop. Oh, it's really only Ho-Ho, and slightly to the east, there's Terry Loves is just kind of holding back. Well, first connection to the worst player, NA, down to 12-14. Those are probably shots from somewhere in the backfield. It's maybe Cyclist, maybe QWERTY. Probably Daniel W. Tang, actually, who is on a raised position out in B1.
Okay. And right now, the 1390s for Simposaurus Rex, they have been circling. I would think they're going to go for some sort of one-line push, knowing that, you know, they have a lot of, well, they have two Pershings and a T-32 helping out quite a bit. Okeano and A-Large, though, are going to stay around them. I guess, well, it's 4 against 2, but you have 3 as backup. I really feel like this 1390 in the center, if anything, it will go to converge on the one-line push rather than, you know, trying to contest against Pershing T-32. But still, we haven't seen anything really done yet. Maybe a T1 push. That's what we need. Dark Lance should push up the one line and just...
Maybe. That could work, approaching up the 2 line maybe in the bush cover, because there's obviously going to be a T1 waiting in the 1, so if you approach too far to the west on the raised area... Now, I know you're talking about the 1 and 2 line combined, sorry.
It's the same. Well,
yeah, it's
yours is a lot more precise.
Yeah, I'm just getting specific with it. Oh, wow. Servio's drowned in the T1. I'm going to go find where that happened.
That was a mistake?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It's going to have to be on the other side, and it's going to be really strange to watch me fly around with it.
It's all right. We'll go to my screen.
Yeah, that would be better. You guys can watch any kind of fighting, because I think I see damage getting traded.
Yep. So far it is. Worst player NA has taken 2 shots worth of damage, but Hohohahi finally going to get punished here, down to 866. Still very passive play, and guess what? If we have this passive play, who's going to win? Of course, the red team, Kung Fu. Kung Fu. Okay, where are we going? We're in the jungle.
In the reeds. And we found a drowned Tier 1. Very sad.
Poor guy.
He just drowned himself. I don't know exactly what he was going for here.
Look at that beautiful reflection, though.
So pretty.
It's like you can't even see that T1. It's super, super camouflaged. And then, boom, T1 Cunningham.
It's drowned. This is sad. It's very sad.
It's only 2 guys, don't worry.
It's only 2. This is 2 people in a team of 7. And they're heroes, Andre. They're heroes.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
I would.
They're not heroes.
They're heroes.
You know, they can... You know what's the worst? When you drown in, like, a Hellcat? It's like, you guys, you know you can swim, right?
The top's open.
I mean, if I ever drowned in a Roomba in real life, I'd be like, what have I done?
That thing drowns when it smells water.
Seriously. Now, drowning in Object 416, that's very easy.
It also drowns when it smells water. It's like, I smell moisture in the air. Am I near? Oh, God. Ugh.
I have 10 seconds left. No.
I better get away from this moisture in the air.
Quick, guys, go forward. No, go forward faster. Driver's like, oh, there's a T1 kill. Okay, cleaning, or
And
No.
Aaron is finally making some connections. Like, Okeano actually got some shots out on Cyclists
yes.
and took him down to 1167. So a little bit of damage going out here. Ho-ho.
Cyclists. I have such a tough time with this name. Cyclists.
Yeah.
He needs to be so careful. He's in a very precarious situation where he's going to take shots from Okeano at the same time. He has to worry about air news.
Okeano spoke over very far, though, in order to
Oh,
get... Oh, wow. Cinnabar has been spotted. Cyclist goes for a shot onto Air News. And shots hitting dirt on Cyclist. I'm expecting... Oh, wow. And actually, here comes A-Large right onto Cyclist. Just the push has begun. Cyclist is going to be focused. And here come the Pershings. T32 pushing over. Focus Cyclist down to 257. One more shot. Misses down to 6 hit points. And finally gets finished off. But there goes Terry Love shooting your bird and worst player NA.
yeah, really unfortunate. Worst player NA got chewed up a lot in the beginning. Ho-ho-hi-he, can he make the escape? That's a big question. A-Large on his tail. Ho-ho-hi-he, maybe chasing Okeano right now. That's at 334 hit points.
Okeano's actually kept
shots?
running.
Does he have shots?
He does have shots on Okeano. We spotted him. Shots
Oh,
go out
one
down to
shot.
105. And he
And
will.
he won't get it.
Okeano could have stopped and actually gotten Ho-Ho. He could have. He just, I guess he's reloading or
He
something.
could have. But now QWERTY is in his Pershing alongside with Daniel W. Tang. Of course, those are the 2 tier 8s that they have to worry about. There are 4 tier 8s on the side of Simposaurus Rex. So things can still get a little bit dicey. I mean, it is a 1390. Ho-ho-hi down to 234. One high. No, he actually hits track. A-Large trying to get a little bit of room. No, misses again. And Ho-ho-hi, he's got some skills at dying. He goes down. And is it just Daniel W. Tang? It is. And Revelator charging forward. He's moving on up to the east side or the west side.
They will find Daniel Tang, and Air News to square off. Daniel bounces his first shot, but so many shots onto Daniel. He does not connect the second one, and the third one will not connect. Another shot into Daniel, 196 hit points, and there he goes. Victory, Simposaurus Rex.
They got a piece of the pie, finally.
We will actually see a shootout.
Shoot out, my friend. So Simposaurus Rex will be shooting out against their opponent's Kung Fu. We're going to take a little bit of time to set that up, guys. But before we go into a break, let's talk real quick about what happened. How did it happen? It's something that we haven't really seen a lot of times. It was east side play on the west side. And the reason why we don't see east side on the west side is because why?
Because you cut yourself off. You've got 1390s all the way in the northeast who are effectively cut off from the fight. If that's picked up on, you could have actually seen Kung Fu push over the middle and take a 5v4, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Which is a bit strange. But you
Correct.
can understand why, because they would have had to pay a lot to engage. They would have lost maybe about 500-600 health just to start that fight. So what happens is actually Simposaurus Rex recognizes their advantage in the fact that they have some beautiful crossfires and goes for an all-in. They just push straight over on the east side, trying to get a tank that they thought was cut off. But great crossfire by Kung Fu actually punished them.
Okeano had a really important position at that point. If we look at the detailed reports, I'm going to just go into it real quick and take a look at Okeano. Now, why he's so important, I can't find him. He does 1,073 hit points, which is great, but at the same time, he's getting those very easy shots, and everybody's saying, oh my god, Okeano is in a great position. Let's deal with him. My question to you is, does Simposaurus Rex win this if the T1 Servio stays alive? Because that was the ward to let them know that Okeano is over there.
Possibly, yeah, you have a fair point there. I didn't think about that.
If
T1.
Servios is still there, they see Okeano, boom, they're over the bowl. Or not the bowl, they're over the ridge.
Yeah.
And they're doing that 5v4, Okeano completely cut out from that. So I have to think that the T1 not being around, brutal. But guys, we're going to cut to a short break. When we come back, we're going to have the final outcome of this best of 5 with a shootout. Don't go anywhere. You're watching WGLNA Qualifiers. And we are in the middle of a series right now between 2 tied up teams. It's Kung Fu and Simposaurus Rex. The battle's already started. We are in shootout. Let's get into it and talk about these tanks.
Looking at the tanks, we have 3 IS-3s and actually 2 YAG-88s for the side of Simposaurus Rex. On the other side, 4 IS-3s and a YAG-88. This is very interesting to see. This is new. I've never seen 2 tank destroyers in this before.
Neither have I. Gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see the lineup and how they really set up, because 2 YAG-88s, I guess, well, okay, YAG-88s are fat, man.
Yeah.
So how are you going to fit 2 YAG-88s in with your mediums? And we'll see if they prepared something clever. What do we have on the red team right now while they're the ones being set up?
Well, the red team is setting up. They look to be doing the very standard lineup here, kind of putting their medium ones, back to back. They're trying to angle them to cover the YAG-88, and with that, you'll have the IS-3s doing the reverse angling as per usual. So nothing really strange here. Nothing at all odd. But on the other side, they do look like they're starting to get together. So the YAG-88s are actually going to be next to each other.
Okay. I'm not sure if I love the YAG-88s together, but they do need to be told exactly where to move, so they're going to have to probably reposition right now as admins are just getting everything done. Interesting, though, that the YAG-88s are going to be put together, and then the IS-3 is going to go directly behind them. There's going to be like a spot right in the middle. Ooh, wow. One of the YAG-88s are actually going to be reverse angling.
Really? Wow.
Can you do that with this turret? I don't think so.
Maybe? Get shots on one of the sides? They're trying. Worst player's going for it, but his name is worst player. So
I have a feeling like, so it's a good rule of thumb that anywhere you see like little tiny guns or anything like that.
Hatches and such.
Yeah, like right over here, anything on a tank like that. For IS-3s, do we have anything? Not really. But anytime you see one of those, it's your weak spot. It is a weak spot. See, this is like a little tiny gun-looking thing. So this is a place where it's a good place to shoot. And I have to feel like that's going to be open.
It's generally called the edge effect.
Edge effect.
Where any kind of edges, where holes in armor and such, areas around that and the hatches on them are actually weaker.
Which makes sense because of the installation of that, right?
Yeah. You don't get to spread the energy when it hits.
That makes sense.
And so the armor is effectively less strong. It's just like adding curvature to armor will increase the strength of it.
Because it has a support.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at arches. Very, very.
Exactly. That's a beautiful example. And of course, mastered by the Russians. They were really the first guys to ever implement sloped armor that was highly effective. Like, for example, on the T-34 was so potent because of the harsh slope. It was very effective against the Panzer IVs and such. Panzer IIIs.
So I'm starting to like this lineup a lot. As we can see, the IS-3s are kind of reverse angled. Now, the IS-3s are poking out a lot here. Can you see this?
I'm gonna try and get an angle on that.
But the IS-3s are not reverse angled, so it does worry me a little bit. This IS-3 is covered pretty well, but I think Cinnabar is not properly placed just yet. I think he is repositioning. But it looks good overall.
No, they look safe. Those IS-3s are safe.
Yeah.
Cinnabar's okay.
Cinnabar moved.
Oh, wow. The YAG-88's going to shoot over the shoulder of the other YAG-88?
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. No,
So
I would expect then Air News could move over actually slightly to his left. Yeah, they're going to move the medium ones instead. That's a way to do it. As I talk about them shifting the YAG-88s, instead they go with the easy answer, just shift the medium ones.
Okay.
So they just move over a little. There's a gap. There's a small gap between the medium ones that might be taken advantage of as I drive straight into it.
Well, we are going to see a firefight pretty soon here.
Soon.
A lot of these guys will be loading HE in the very beginning stages.
They can damage guns, optics. Optics won't be anything, but they can maybe knock out a crew member or two. And if you knock over that crew member, they have to burn a kit. Another HE shell could knock out that gunner a second time, and that will really hamstring. Just losing crew members like the commander, the gunner. The loader you can get away with, and the driver's not a big deal. You're going to lose the driver with HE if you're facing forward, at least, in the IS-3. Backwards like this, your driver's actually going to be the safest guy in the tank. He's on the other side of the tank. He's like, guys, what's going on back there? What's going on? Do you want me to back up again? Oh, drive forward and back? Okay. No problem. That's all he's doing all battle. No fear.
He doesn't care, man.
Yeah,
He's going to be the first one out, too. If the tank goes down.
pretty much.
Popping out. He's like, hey, eat no thing. Still waiting on the admin. Of course, they're going to say go, and the firefight will start. I don't know how I'm feeling with this Yak 88, though.
I don't like two of them. Two of them, we'll have to see how it works, because I've never actually seen that happen. I've seen Artie. We've seen 2 Artie now. We've seen 1 Artie now. We've seen all sorts of stuff. The Yak 88 does seem to be the major damage dealer in these, so I guess that's their approach. Yak 88s always do lots of damage, so let's bring Yak 88s. Let's bring 2 of them, not just 1. 2.
Yeah.
Brilliant plan.
And it looks like just the way they're positioned, I mean, this Yak 88 shouldn't be taking a lot of damage. I don't really see it, like, in the open. There's a very small place where it can be hit, and even that place is pretty strong. Has gun pointing that way, so I have to feel like that's actually a very safe way to place it. Looks like the Simposaurus Rex guys. It's not their first rodeo, that's for sure.
Just waiting
Here
there
we
as
go.
the first shot's fired. And T1, a cyclist will actually get hit with HE and not go all the way. There he finally goes down.
Chen Baiyu has taken a lot of damage. And
Hey.
he's going to continue taking a lot of damage. Oh my goodness. Just tearing everybody up.
Those hatch shots, man. They're, oh, he peeks out again. Ooh, a lucky bounce. Does keep him alive for now, but 109 hit points. That hurts. Oh, lots of bounces. They're firing APCR. They're not firing HE.
Air News is the only person to take damage so far. Down to 1,072, not a lot. Oh no, I'm sorry, Revelator is taking a little bit of damage. HE is popping out.
And there goes the first tier A. Chen Baiyu is the first to go down. Ho Ho Hahi, maybe the next. He is at 1207 hit points in his IS-3, although a few HE shells do hit QWERTY. And oh, not a lot of connections yet. Damage getting spread around. I guess those are HE shells also going out onto Revelator and possibly Air News.
Yeah, they're all HE so far.
Oh wow.
Everything's been HE, but AP, 454 damage being done to Ho Ho Hahi.
I guess they're just deciding we'll finally get those hatch connections every once in a while. It'll be more damage than those HE shells. Although nice HE shots onto QWERTY. He takes about a little over 101 of those HE shells. Now he's down to 789. He's just going to get sieged down at this point. I think they're just going to focus. Yes, they are going to focus all their HE shells
Holy
onto.
moly.
Wow. And he's just getting completely messed up here.
Yes, he is.
115, 37. He's down to 258. One APCR shell that pens with check. Oh, 52. He's down to 206. 2 more solid HE pens, and more and more bounces coming in. On this Yag 88 there, he's taking more down to 64 hit points. 1 more connection will take that Yag 88 down, which is a huge. It's huge. You lose your Yag 88, you effectively have lost. They have 3 IS3s, just won't be able to do it, and there he goes.
That's not true.
I think
If
so.
you have 2 Yag 88s.
Well, that's why you bring 2. I mean, they've overcome that 1 Yag 88 crutch, and they've brought 2 now.
I like the setup too. Why not get 3?
What, 3? I don't.
Yeah.
Could you make cover for
No,
3?
you can have an opening for 3, honestly. Maybe.
You can always find a way. Oh, Ho Ho takes a huge hit down to 226 hit points. More shots. Daniel W. Tang and Terry Love shooting bird don't seem to be getting quite the connections that we're seeing out of Simposaurus Rex. They're just holding still. Simposaurus Rex is just not moving. Another connection takes Ho Ho down, and also Terry Love shooting bird is also down a little lower. This is definitely swaying in favor of Simposaurus Rex at this point. Another shot on Daniel W. Tang. More and more shots coming out, down to 130 hit points and 182 for Ho Ho. These guys could just push across the open field at this point and get the victory. A nice connection for 200, but there goes Daniel W. Tang. Only 2 tanks remain.
I mean, Simposaurus Rex put it together. They started out a little bit rocky here, down 0-2, but they were able to really get it together and bring it to this shootout, and eventually just had the much, much better lineup, much better shots, and they're going to take the win.
I guess you were right, Andre. Just drawing out on steps and then getting that final crucial win on Prohorovka.
That's what they were looking for.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they were looking for, and it felt like, you know, there were definitely things Kung Fu could have done to kind of hedge the losses, especially in Prohorovka, right? But just things didn't work out for them in the shootout. Didn't work out for them at all. So, guys, that's going to do it for match number 3. Our next match of the day will be the Doge Squad versus Super Amiguetes. I hope
Amiguitos.
Amiguitos. Sorry.
I've never heard it said like that. I thought it was amigos. Although I think that's
Super
another.
Amigos.
I thought that was another team.
It's probably another team.
Yeah.
The Super Amiguitos. So we'll find out. That's going to be after our halftime. So don't go anywhere. More World of Tanks action after this.